It's still chasing me. I'm low. I need heals. Oh, are you kidding me? He's right there already? I need a plan. Maybe I'll run back and loop around and then come back down. Yes, let's do it. Whoa! So you might be a beginner starting to play the killer, or you just wanted to go back to Jason because you probably switched to like Cool Kid or someone else when first starting out. So I have made this guide for you guys, and this is a guide on how to play Jason effectively. I used to not be able to do good when starting, of course, but with Jason, I also felt like it was pretty hard to start with him. But as I played him, he's become actually easier than I thought at first. I've actually learned about his moveset and played him effectively, and it won me a bunch of rounds. Currently, I'm at milestone 4, level 100, so this will be from a level 100 perspective. But before we start, I want to tell you some disclaimers real quick. The gameplay that you're seeing right now and the gameplay near the end of the video was recorded before the Noli update, so I'm not sure if anything has changed with Jason, at least the stats or something about the moveset. If there was any changes, let me know, but I don't think there was any. Secondly, Jason is soon going to be remodeled, and his name's going to be Slasher. I'm not sure if that's going to change his moveset or his stats at all, but I'll keep you guys updated. If it actually does changes his moveset and his like stats and potentially even the animations, then I'll probably either like remake this video or make it into like a short. But anyway, let's get into it now. Jason is a close-range melee killer. He has no ranged abilities, which means he has to have a strategic gameplay in order to catch survivors. One thing that you have to be really good at with Jason is stamina management because you're actively chasing around people. You can't really stop and try to throw something since there's no ranged attacks. And you have to predict survivors' movements or the abilities they put off in order to play successfully. Jason can also be really good with punishing people for like missing their shot, like a sentinel, like missing their slash or something, or when people are out of stamina and they're really low on stamina, you can attack them from there and that'll deal good damage. We'll go more in depth with this, but first let's talk about his stats and abilities. Firstly, here's his main stats. He's slightly faster than a normal survivor, but it's really slow when he's walking. Now, onto the abilities. Jason used to have a passive called Mute, which lowered his terror radius, which is basically making him quieter. But I don't know what happened to this passive. It got removed, and I don't see it anywhere anymore. But for his first ability, Slash. Slash is Jason's M1, which is basically his click to slash thing, his main ability, which you're going to be using most. Slash does 20 damage and 25 while enraged, which we'll get into soon. On hitting the slash, it inflicts bleeding 1 for 5 seconds, taking extra damage. The slash can be hit through multiple people at once. A lunge is added to this attack if it's used from enraging. Next, Behead. Behead does 20 damage and 35 if used while enraged. Upon hitting Behead, it'll inflict Helpless 1, which disables the survivor's abilities for 14 seconds. After this attack, Jason, no matter what, gets Slowness 1 for 2 seconds. Now for Gashing Wound. Gashing Wound does 50 damage and 70 damage while enraged. Finally, Raging Pace. This is where Enraged comes in. Using Raging Pace makes Jason enraged. Upon activation, Jason's speed becomes 19.5 for 14 seconds. The aura of the nearest survivor is revealed to him. The aura remains revealed until enraged state ends. It'll linger for 2 seconds. While in this effect, Jason becomes immune to stuns. He has his sprinting disabled, and his stamina slowly becomes capped at 70 over the span of 6.5 seconds. The cap is removed once he leaves his enraging stage. Now that you know everything about Jason, let's go over on how to play Jason effectively. Firstly, let's start with some starting pointers. Firstly, you need good stamina management because you have no ranged attacks or you don't have anything to give yourself a speed boost. Number 2, you're most vulnerable to sentinels as a Jason because you don't really have anything to bait their block or their slash or whatever. So you're going to have to play smart about that. And number 3, kind of a follow up to number 2, be careful of what you're doing because you can be easily punished if you're screwed up. Especially if you miss a gashing wound or if you miss your behead, you could get slowness and it won't be good. Alright, now that we discussed that, let's start discussing on how to actually play him. You probably already know what to do with slash, just like attack when you're chasing a survivor. That's pretty self-explanatory. So I'm going to start off with the tips for behead. Firstly, did you know when you're running at a survivor, you can use behead and it'll give you a little lunge forward so you can reach the survivor? You can kind of see right here, I missed that shot, so this was a bad example. But if the survivor is slightly ahead of you, you can run towards them and use behead, and that could reach them. I recommend using behead when starting to chase a survivor, like at a start of their chase, because that'll disable their abilities for 14 seconds, and so you don't have to worry about a sentinel trying to get a stun on you, and you can just run after them. You'd also want to use it more of like at an end of a chase or like when the survivor is low so you can kill them, and that'll save time. You can also, when you're chasing the second to last person and last man standing, you can use behead. That'll also save some time. You can also use behead when there's a group of survivors trying to do a generator rather than gashing wound, because that could get all of them instead of just one person. Sometimes behead can be a replacement for gashing wound if it's on cooldown, but say if like a sentinel misses their shot at stunning, then I'd rather just use slash, because if you do use behead, then that'll get you slowness. That's it for behead. Time to talk about gashing wound. Gashing wound is your strongest ability, but your most fragile. What I mean by that is you gotta use this carefully and strategically. If you miss, you gotta have a 40-second cooldown, and you can very easily be punished. So I'll give you some good ways to use Gashing Wound. Gashing Wound can punish people for like a Shaletsky missing their slash, or like a guest missing their block and is unsuccessful, Chance missing their shot, and sometimes 2-time missing their dagger. Secondly, when there's only one person on a generator, only when there's one person, because you can use behead if there's more than one person, but if behead is on cooldown, I still wouldn't recommend using gashing wound because there could be a better time to use gashing wound and you might want to save it. You might want to be sneaky about it though, because someone could see you and then they could run away and they could dodge your gashing wound. And number 3, I don't really do this one, but when someone's out of stamina, you can use gashing wound then. Or say like if a survivalist is like drinking a Bloxy Cola, like a noob could drink like a Bloxy Cola, or when he's using Ghost Burger, or when like 7 and 7's trying to teleport, that's a good time to use Gashing Wound. Gashing Wound is really good at punishing for misusing abilities. One of my favorite things to do with Gashing Wound, though, so you can try to predict like a sentinel's attempt to stun like a guest block or like a Shadletsky slash. You can use Raging Pace right before they land it and use Gashing Wound. That'll deal a lot of damage. That's like almost enough to kill an Elliot. But you need to have good timing and prediction for that. Lastly, let's talk about Raging Pace. Raging Pace could be good for stamina regen when you're low on stamina, but I think it caps out to like 70, and so once you reach 70 stamina, it'll start going down. You'll have to slash after it starts going down, and then it'll give you some more stamina. It's better to use it near a survivor when you're out of stamina, because since you're slower, it can widen the lead, and so if you're closer, then it won't widen the lead as much. You're immune to stuns too when you're in Raging Pace. What I said about earlier with Gashing Wound, you can take into consideration because you're immune to stuns. So you could also try to predict in time when someone's trying to get a stun and use Raging Pace at the right moment, and so they'll just waste their ability. Raging Pace also does more damage. Just keep that last thing in mind. Here's some more extra tips. These really go for any killer, but since you have to have stamina management, if like like a survivor's turning a corner, you can try to cut them off and like try to like predict where they're going and kind of sort of cut them off and like merge into them. When you hit a Gashing Wound, a guest can get a free block in the middle of a Gashing Wound, so just be wary of that. Guest and Two Time are going to be your biggest enemies because since you have no ranged attacks, you gotta be careful around Guest more since you rely on melee. Guest can soak those up really good. And if you're at a low point in stamina management, a Two Time can sneak up behind you and stab you. I recommend checking behind you ever so often to see if there's a Two Time trying to follow you. And what you could do, you could also let them come towards you and then turn around and use Gashing Wound. That's a good way to punish them. But if you can't use Gashing Wound, then just like attack them with whatever abilities you have. Especially as a Jason, you want to go for Elliots because it's going to be a nightmare trying to get everyone since you don't have any range attacks and you could be kind of slow at killing people. Which leads me to my next little tip. People who do not like being targeted are not going to like this tip. You kind of have to target with Jason because it has no fast killing abilities or like any ranged abilities. It kind of sucks that it doesn't really have ranged abilities. But if you can't get the survivor you're chasing after at like the 1 minute or 1 minute 30 mark, then I recommend going for someone else because if you're targeting the same person the whole game, and if you don't catch them, you just wasted a round. And especially if there's an Elliot on your team, you want to try to go for them first because you don't have any fast attacking abilities that can do good damage. And so that could be really disappointing because you just spent like half of your round getting this survivor low, only just for an Elliot to pop up and heal them. And so all your work is like ruined. And so you'll either have to spend like another like half of the round trying to get them if you even can get them, or try to go for the Elliot or do something else. So yeah, I just recommend trying to go for Elliots first. I could have said this in the Raging Pace tips, but don't really use Raging Pace to try to track survivors until last man standing, because since Raging Pace only looks for one person, if you get lost or you get lost from the survivor, you can use Raging Pace to track them, because that'll be the only person in the round. Alright, so that's all for the tips. Here's some gameplay that you can watch. Alrighty, round number 1. It's this map. Alright. They all spawn over here. Okay, there's a bunch of guests. I can try to bait out their blocks. Okay, he got that. Block? Okay. Still got him. Alright. Is there an Elliot on this team? Oh, jeez. Okay. Oh, why did I hit that? Oh, no. I'm not doing so good. Alright, there. That's a... No? I thought that was a clone. Is that a clone? No. Get over here. Alright. Alright, let's get the other people. There's a guest. Get this one. Blocked way late. See if we can kill this one. I think we can. Get over here. Shaletsky's probably gonna try to protect him. Nice try. Oh, he got that. Oh, he still got me. Get him real quick. I don't know if he has a block. Get over here. Alright. There we go. Where is this 7 and 7? Oh, he's over there. Okay. I just saw him clone. Get him. Alright. Nice try. Maybe we get this guest. That's probably what I'm thinking. And got him. Alright. Now I'm gonna try to get the guest again. Or I can go after that Shaletsky, see if I can try to kill him. Use your slash, totally. Get over here. And I think you're dead. Yep. Okay, now he can't block for a little bit. Get over here. Okay, I gotta play this right. He's probably gonna keep looping. No, he's all the way on over there. Okay, now I got LMS with this guy. That was so lucky. Okay, he's up there. Already? Oh, got him. Alright, GG's. Okay. Second gameplay. Alrighty. Where? Only just got the Elliot. Did that? Huh? How exactly? Okay. Okay. Wait, I caught Wait. I caught that on recording though. Oh my god. That was not fair. Wait. Okay. Alright, gashing wound here. Dude. Bro, that, that is not fair. Okay, get over here. Oh, jeez. Alright. Jeez, dude. Almost just fell off there. Oh, I thought... There we go. Alright. Holy ping is right. Dude, what does this game even do? Yeah, that's kind of pinging. Alright. I'm not sure if he's got Obliviation up. I don't think so. Nope. Oh, his gun blew up on him. Let's get him. Get the chance. It's so good that I got that on record. Nice try. Get over here. You can either dodge or use Raging Pace. Holy crap. I did not see that. Alright. Got him. Get him. And then... Oh my god. There we go. Got him. Alright. Going to try and probably... Alright, GG's. Alright, so I normally do 3 gameplay rounds, but I can't import the 3rd gameplay round for some reason. It's probably better anyway because this video is already 20 minutes long, and I try to keep these under 15 minutes, but it hasn't really worked out for this one. But that was how to play Jason effectively. It seems easy to like master from what I've given you, but it's gonna take some time to skill because you need good stamina management and you gotta rely on your close range attacks or melee. But I believe you can do it. I thought it was impossible at first, but as I started playing Jason, it became more fun to play him. As always, please leave your own tips in the comments. I love seeing those and seeing what you guys have, because sometimes I actually do learn from them. But anyway, have a good day, and I'll see you later.